Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Red Road Echoes with me, Annette and Alan, where we dig into cases involving murdered and missing Indigenous people. As you may know, there's always a lack of coverage when it comes to cases involving the Native community, so we are here to try to change that. Join me in shedding light on these stories and giving these victims a voice. Let's kick things off with our case this week that brings us to Oklahoma, my home state. If you live in Oklahoma, you have probably heard the name Ida Beard, or even Ida's Law. However, you may not have heard her story. I am a member of the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribe, the same tribe that Ida is a member of. So I've kept up with her story since her disappearance almost 8 years ago. Ida Beard was born to Rebecca and Donnie Beard Sr. and grew up in Reno, Oklahoma with her 3 sisters. Ida's father was a bricklayer and then went to school to become a phlebotomist. Her mother worked at the Oklahoma League for the Blind. Ida's father formed the Beard Family Gospel Singing Group with his family, and they often traveled to Native American churches to perform. Ida grew up in a very devout Christian home and a strong Native community. At the time of her disappearance, Ida was living in Reno with her mother. She was 29 years old, a mother of 4 with brown eyes, brown hair, and stood about 5'6". On June 30th, 2015, Ida told her mother she was going to visit some friends who lived nearby. However, she never returned. Ida's mother reported her daughter missing, and investigators initially assumed Ida left of her own accord. Which, let's face it, unfortunately, when it comes to missing Indigenous people, law enforcement's initial assumption is generally, oh, they just took off. If it's a missing Indigenous child, they assume that they just ran away. When this happens and law enforcement does not take it seriously, a lot of time goes by before they do look into a disappearance, and by then, they have lost evidence, they aren't able to come up with an accurate timeline, and they miss out on potential witnesses. It would take 2 weeks until July 15th, 2015 for police to open a missing person case and begin looking for the mother of 4. All we know is she was seen leaving, reportedly walking home, and then she never made it there, El Reno Police Department Major Dickerson said in a statement. Following her disappearance, Ida's cousin, Lorenda Morgan, who has been an advocate for Ida, began to try to do something about the estimated hundreds of missing and murdered Indigenous people across Oklahoma. According to the Norman transcript, crimes committed against Native Americans are often underreported, and when they are, resources are sorely lacking. And let's address the elephant in the room. It seems like many people just don't care, and the media very rarely even report on these cases. The issue is made more complex by the fact crimes committed on tribal land or involving tribal members face daunting coordination of multiple agencies on the tribal, state, and federal levels. There always seems to be a lack of communication with the different agencies investigating crimes against Indigenous people. Ida has never been found, and at this time, there are no leads to where she may be. Ida's case, like so many others, is now considered a cold case, with little to no movement towards solving the mystery surrounding her disappearance. This is heartbreaking for Ida's children and family. According to the data from Coalition to Stop Violence Against Native Women, 4 out of 5 Native women are affected by violence and face murder rates that are more than 10 times the national average. Another study by the Urban Indian Health Institute reported that the 3rd leading cause of death among American Indian and Alaskan Native women and girls is murder. In the same study, Oklahoma ranked in the top 10 states for the highest number of mmiw cases. In an effort to make a change, Ida's cousin, Lorenda Morgan, with support from the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes, worked with lawmakers in Oklahoma to help bring about a new legislation called Ida's Law. Governor Stitt signed Ida's Law on April 20th, 2021. Ida's Law created an Office of Tribal Liaison within the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation to address not only cold cases of missing and murdered Indigenous persons, but to assist families with immediate action when an Indigenous person goes missing. This law will allow the U.S. Attorney's Office and the U.S. Department of Justice to obtain federal funding to gather much-needed data to address the epidemic of murdered and missing Indigenous persons. This case is truly heartbreaking, but it is good to see that Ida's disappearance has led to changes in how law enforcement handle missing persons cases involving the Native community. As always, someone out there knows what happened to Ida, and this family needs answers. If you have any thoughts on this case, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for joining us today, and if you appreciate this coverage, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you'll be notified when a new video is posted. If you have any cases that you would like for us to cover, let us know. You can follow us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at Red Road Echoes. Stay safe, cherish your loved ones, and have a great day.